So I just want to introduce Sarah Drew here, she's the author of Gaia Codex, which is an incredible novel, an eco-feminist visionary novel that speaks about the future and actually about the past as well, and it's a non-linear timeline, I would say. And Sarah Drew has been also in the Metaverse space and the AI space for many, many years before becoming a writer. So we thought it was important to close this Metaverse session to bring in the vision of the feminine, of what can be created if we incorporate some of those circular timelines, if we incorporate intuition, emotions, and all the aspects of the goddess into this metaverse. So far we see a lot of male creations, and I wish for the blossoming of more feminine creations into this metaverse, and so I would let Sarah speak about that.
Thank you, Magdalene. Shamane lamanuku einomo jeka jena eisama asama usma yamo ma. Blessings to all the elementals, to the sacred land we're on, to all sentient life that is lit here over time in this city of light. Blessings to the Celtic Parisi, who are said to set up a village here in the 3rd century BCE. Blessings to the nomadic tribes of names unknown, who are said to have lived here 10,000 years ago. Blessings and gratitude to all the creatures, the flora, the fauna, the insects, great forests and rivers, and especially the River Seine, once known in the Celtic Gaulish language as Sequana. We give our thanks and we give our reverence to life. This deciduous forest biome that is the roots of modern Paris rests in 4.5 billion years, a vibrant organism, this library of living, breathing wisdom that is our Mother Earth. This miracle, this mystery, this mother, mater, matter, which we as human beings are not only biogenetically connected to and born from, but are also here in the dreaming and co-creation with. We are the living spirit, the spiritus, the breath of Mother Earth's creation. Let's celebrate that we're gathered here today. There's a reason that we have each answered the call to be here at the first PAUA live event. Each of us present here today holds a key and a seed for deep collective intelligence, the potential for the beneficent evolution for all sentient life. In Mahayana Buddhism, bodhicitta is the mind, citta, that is aimed at awakening, bodhi. Break down the citta further, and it is sit, the awakened consciousness. In this tradition, it is understood that every sentient being has this glowing seed of consciousness and compassion, waiting to fully activate and flower, to radiantly bloom. When this is activated, we have a choice to become a bodhisattva, dedicated backwards and forwards and in the circular toroid of time, to igniting the spirit, the spark of awakening in all sentient life. And within that, becoming a student, an ally of all life and creation in its many forms. And here's our question. Can a small group of beneficently intended beings allied with the 4.5 billion year old wisdom and technology, if you will, of Mother Earth transform the course of humanity, of all sentient life? Can we create a harmonious Earth as we align both with ancient wisdom technologies and shape and create the emergent technologies of our time? Can the Metaverse and the Mother Earth coexist in symbiotic harmony? We're here today to explore this. The fruits of the ancient mystery schools and those mysteries yet to be known are born within us, waiting to be revealed. The microcosm becomes the macrocosm. First, a little bit about my own personal story within the largest collective tale that we are weaving today. In my early 20s, I studied religious studies at UC Berkeley with an emphasis on cross-cultural mystical traditions. In the mid-1990s, I received substantial seed funding to start a company in Hollywood, Los Angeles, to produce a virtual reality multiplayer game, as they were called then, that I conceived and designed called the Cyber Pacific Adventure. The high concept for the game was to catalyze collective spiritual awakening by bringing players into full immersion, first-person experience of the ancient mysteries and transcultural spiritual traditions. As our prototype, we had 3 initiatory experiences: a game based on the ancient Greek Eleusinian mysteries, the second, the experiences and revelation of the Tibetan Tanaduk, the medicine Buddha's paradise garden mandala, as a mode of experiential healing, and then a game based on the ancient Mayan concepts of time and cosmology through a version of the ancient mystical ball game, Mayan mystical ball game, as described in the Popol Vuh, creation cycle of myth. Long story short, the technology was not there in the 1990s to give the full immersion virtual reality environments we had envisioned, but a seed was planted for using virtual reality for spiritual evolution and cultural awakening. Personally, I also had more inner spiritual initiations to make, more learning before I would take on a task, more metamorphosis and cracking open. I was living the life of 1,000 deaths so I could truly live. The life of 1,000 deaths so we can truly live. I imagine many of you here today know the path and the practice: death, alchemy, transformation, rebirth. Death, alchemy, transformation, rebirth. Offering ourselves 1,000 times so we become lighter, so we reawaken and remember our luminous eternal body fused with time and matter, fused with the Mother Earth. In this process, I turned back to the roots of the Mother Earth and continued my initiations in Vajrayana Buddhism with my root teachers in East Bhutan. I also studied with key teachers deepening into Hindu tantric practices and the path of the goddess and Mother Earth. With the guide of my Bhutanese Vajra teachers, a story upwelled from my heart, an ancient memory coming to life, one that I had no choice but to commit to the telling. The writing of my novel Gaia Codex took place over several years in contemplative practice and retreat. Gaia Codex is the tale of an ancient lineage of women, the priestesses of Astera, who through the rise and fall of cultures cultivate and protect regeneration codes for our Mother Earth. In this mythos, the codes are accessed through a living codex, which is both the 4.5 billion year history of the Earth and an nth dimensional etheric web of information, structured not unlike Indra's net in Mahayana Buddhism tradition or Akashic records in Hinduism, where all transtemporal wisdom is stored. In this novel, these women, the priestesses of Astera, have cultivated access for this codex, this web of knowledge, not through the interface of digital technology, but through the cultivated seeing and their shared bodhisattvic intent to bring well-being to all beings through time. The novel focuses on the heroine's journey of the protagonist as she navigates a landscape in global crisis very similar to our times now. Indeed, the novel published in 2013 was predictive of what it has unfolded over the last 9 years. This was one of the original intentions of the book as a warning sign of a possible future, and within that, providing an antidote, deep medicine for our collective healing. Gaia Codex is a recasting and reclaiming of the sacred feminine in our collective global history, and a chemical healing of fractured webs and threads by creating a tale of continuous, unbroken lineage of the feminine through time and cultures, a reclaiming for us, both as women and as men, of our essential feminine nature, the wisdom lines which in current times have in many ways been lost. Now, what is interesting with powerful fiction and myth-making is that when it ignites, it becomes for readers and experiencers a collective living story. It becomes the landscape we inhabit and breathe, our lens of perception for our world. When I gave a talk for Google Arthur Talks in 2015 about the Gaia Codex, at the end of the 40-minute speech, I was asked, "Why didn't you write a book of nonfiction?" I thought that was an interesting question. My answer was that fiction allows the imagination to play with unbound possibilities. Fiction biochemically evokes neuroplasticity, new pathways, and when you design a story like the Gaia Codex that is also holographic, you have a meme, a transmission that readers can dynamically build upon and claim as their own. This is also key as we contemplate building virtual worlds. So this brings us back to the Metaverse and Mother Earth. How do we create harmony between what many think are two divergent evolutionary paths? I would like to pose that we can create a symbiotic, complementary, beneficiary, evolutionary relationship between the Mother Earth and the Metaverse. Now, by the Metaverse, I mean not the branded content entity, but a global, multi-user virtual reality platform. The symbiotic relationship begins with first us returning to the Mother Earth herself. For our modern science and technology, despite its many wonders, its prowess, its material manipulation, its prowess in material manipulation does not understand how to live in harmony with the complex 4.5 billion year technology of Mother Gaia. Indeed, thus far, in terms of harmonic relations, as a modern civilization, we're desperately falling short. And as many of the ancient ones, the wise indigenous elders have communicated. And by indigenous, I mean all cultures who have sustained unbroken lineage for millennia with codes of knowledge and a conduct of living harmonically with the earth. Such indigenous wisdom cultures are wide and varied, such as the Achuar people and many other tribes, such as our guest today, who live deep in the Amazon jungle, have cultured the worlds of dreaming and plant medicine and earth healing. The Dogon people in modern-day Mali, who hold an understanding of complex cosmologies and earth-tending practices. The Tibetans on the high Himalayan plateaus, the Sami peoples in modern northern Finland, Sweden, Norway, and Russia, whose lives are interbound with the migrating reindeer and the rhythms of the earth. The Australian Aboriginals, a consortium of many tribes who live in modern-day Australia, who have lived close to the earth and who understand themselves to extend back in their songlines, their shared history and their memory and their mythologies, some 50,000 years of unbroken lineage. The truth is, if we go back far enough, we are all indigenous. Only some of us have forgotten our roots and our original contracts with our Mother Earth. We give reverence to those who have remembered, who have courageously protected these wisdom lines, earth remembrance and wisdom, often against all odds. So it's time for us to lay ourselves back down on the mother's fertile soil, to breathe in the freshness of her air, to drink her sweet waters, to enter into right relationship as our Mother Earth student, an ally, protecting and loving her as she has protected us. And as we set out to create in the seemingly infinite possibility of the metaverse, virtual reality, Web 3.0, our medicine, our path forward is to first return in reverence and as students of Mother Earth, in gratitude and in awe. This is the starting point. This is the fertile ground to plant the seed which potentiates beneficent fruit and flower for all sentient life. Virtual reality has many conscious potentials, and I know many of us in this room are way-showers and visionaries in this space. Virtual reality can deepen transcultural and trans-species empathy. It allows us to see and experience from the POV of another, whether it's a tree, a dolphin, or someone from a different culture or time. Virtual reality, the metaverse, is a great time-traveling tool. We can explore the past and the future much more intimately and viscerally. Imagining entering the star chambers of the ancient Egyptian temple of Dendera when they were in ceremonial use, or traveling 150 years into the future when we who are here today have helped birth a Earth that has collectively transformed our current crisis and created fertile, abundant communities for all. Virtual reality is a tremendous tool for education. Imagine being here in Paris and doing long-term apprenticeships with the Materia Medica, the ethnobotanical richness of the Amazonian rainforest, learning directly from the indigenous shamans, wise women and men, how to communicate to the plant, identify the plant, sing with and as the plant, make the medicines of the plant, both for daily nourishment, material construction, and virtual states. Virtual reality could be a means to show inner landscapes and terrains of contemplative meditation. Imagine a Tibetan Buddhist mandala like the Kala Chakra, the Wheel of Time, coming to life in full dimensions as you interact directly with each of the tantric deities and mantras, under, of course, the guidance of a masterful teacher. Since the early 1990s, I've spoken about how our current round of communication technologies, including virtual reality, are training wheels for modern Western culture to reclaim states of consciousness that are deeply known and codified in the mystical traditions of global ancient wisdom cultures. Through the ritual use of plant medicines, contemplative practices, even the refined art of storytelling by the campfire on the long winter's night, with the fully submersive sensorial experience is activated with ceremony and chant and darkness, led by a skilled bard or shaman. So what will we create? In this room, we have creators, and as creators, we have profound metaphysical responsibilities for what we're bringing to life. For those of you here who dance with the muse, you know that many ideas, many spirits will come knocking at the door, wanting to find expression in the material realm here on Earth. Discernment is key. Unfortunately, many of examples of the current content in the metaverse are worlds of fighting violence, dystopian outcomes with no hope, mirrors of many aspects of the current human condition. In my opinion, this cycle of violence and disharmony, the subjugation of the Earth, and so many of its peoples and many forms of sentient life is coming to an end and unwinding itself, but its transformation will require both our individual and collective awakening. All of us here are part of the solution. And our task, whether we are medicine woman or man, a content creator, a funder, a journalist, or a technology titan, is to cultivate ideas and creations that in their seed essence potentiate harmonic balance with the earth, creations that amplify the bodhisattvic vow as a guiding principle of creating well-being and nourishing circumstances for all life, for generations to come. So yes, I feel we can create a symbiotic bridge between the metaverse and the Mother Earth, and that all of us here today at PAUA are essential to making this happen. It would be aided by our cultivation of individual and collective consciousness, awakening our courageous commitment to the well-being of all beings, and living in alignment and becoming students of the 4.5 billion years of wisdom of Mother Earth in our day-to-day life. Over the next days here at PAUA, we have a group of amazing speakers and attendees, all of us together. We're here to learn from each other, to come together and create the vessel for the mystery of beneficent intent for flourishing and nourishing Mother Earth and the cosmos beyond, the furthest reaches of our imagination. Thank you so much for the gift of your presence. Thank you, Magdalena and Loic. May the fruits of all our time together benefit all beings and all life. Shamane adnono aisamole sabate amoko disinaka shamana osama kofasa Oma.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you. Coming from New York for us. Thank you.